CompTIA A Certification Exam Core 1 and Core 2. Question 1. Which outcome provides the clearest evidence that private cloud is operating correctly? Option A. Performance remains acceptable until concurrent demand approaches or exceeds physical capacity. Option B. Only authorized organizational tenants can provision workloads in the environment. Option C. A virtual machines start on the bare-metal platform and access assigned resources normally. Option D. The company provisions resources from the provider portal and pays for the selected usage. The correct answer is option B. Only authorized organizational tenants can provision workloads in the environment. The selected deployment model provides cloud-style services on infrastructure dedicated to one organization. It combines self-service and automation with organizationally dedicated resources. A public cloud shares provider infrastructure among multiple customers. Question 2. After using CPU fan, which result should the technician expect if the solution worked? Option A. The application completes processor-bound workloads faster after a compatible upgrade. Option B. The fan reaches the expected speed and processor temperature drops during a stress test. Option C. The television displays the desktop and plays audio through the same connection. Option D. The monitor receives the selected resolution and additional chain display appears when supported. The correct answer is option B. The fan reaches the expected speed and processor temperature drops during a stress test. CPU fan forces air across the processor heatsink to remove accumulated heat. It maintains airflow through the fins so transferred heat can leave the cooling assembly. Adding system memory does not correct failed airflow at the processor cooler. Question 3. Which component most directly provides solid-state storage through the serial ATA interface? Option A. Heatsink. Option B. SATA SSD. Option C. M.2 NVMe SSD. Option D. A central processing unit. The correct answer is option B. SATA SSD. A suitable component must be able to perform the stated function because it provides solid-state storage through the serial ATA interface. It improves responsiveness over a mechanical disk while retaining compatibility with the existing controller. An NVMe module requires a suitable M.2 PCIe interface and may not fit the available bay. Stressed about your CompTIA exam? We can take CompTIA exam for you remotely and undetected. We always guarantee a pass and payments only after results. To send us an email, scan the code or tap the link in the description and let's get it done. Question 4. A help desk analyst is evaluating the reason for a recommended choice. Which statement most accurately describes the advantage of limit screen-sharing exposure? Option A. A neutral approach encourages honest information and faster recovery. Option B. Professional boundaries protect the technician, customer, and organization from legal and security risk. Option C. A minimizing visible information reduces unnecessary disclosure during troubleshooting. Option D. A consent respects privacy and ensures the user understands the remote interaction. The correct answer is option C. Minimizing visible information reduces unnecessary disclosure during troubleshooting. In this context, limit screen-sharing exposure closes or hides unrelated sensitive content before a remote session. Sharing the entire desktop without review may expose private or regulated information. Only the application and data required for the support task are visible in the session. Question 5. The technician must justify the selected approach using the stated requirement. Which consideration distinguishes port replicator from the alternatives? Option A. It reduces cable handling by presenting commonly used connectors in one place. Option B. It links access to a characteristic that is difficult to share casually. Option C. It transfers regulated power from the adapter into the system board in charging circuit. Option D. It fits the reduced physical space available inside portable systems. The correct answer is option A. It reduces cable handling by presenting commonly used connectors in one place. Port replicator is relevant because it duplicates common laptop ports to make repeated desktop connections more convenient. A full docking station may add power delivery, graphics, or network functions beyond the stated need. The replicated ports operate when the laptop is attached to the accessory. Question 6. A help desk analyst is evaluating the reason for a recommended choice. Which statement most accurately describes the advantage of reconnect the internal display cable? Option A. It confirms that the physical switch signal reaches the correct motherboard header pins. Option B. It quickly distinguishes a physical minus layer problem from higher minus level addressing or name minus resolution issues. Option C. The movement minus related symptom points to the internal video path rather than the graphics processor. Option D. A consistent settings reduce collisions, retransmissions, and negotiation conflicts. The correct answer is option C. The movement minus related symptom points to the internal video path rather than the graphics processor. In this context, reconnect the internal display cable restores video when a laptop panel connection becomes loose at the hinge or system board. Changing the desktop wallpaper cannot repair an intermittent internal cable. The built minus in panel remains stable through repeated lid movement after the connector is secured. Question 7. A support technician is reviewing several possible solutions. Which consideration most strongly supports using Clean Boot? Option A. It removes altered preferences and disabled protections that may be causing the behavior. Option B. A current build may contain corrections required for the newer environment. Option C. It releases resources and allows the application to be restarted without rebooting the entire computer. Option D. It helps identify which added service or startup item triggers the problem. The correct answer is option D. It helps identify which added service or startup item triggers the problem. Clean Boot starts Windows with a reduced set of non-Microsoft services and startup programs for isolation. A full reimage would be unnecessarily destructive before isolating the software conflict. The symptom disappears in the reduced environment and returns only when the conflicting item is re-enabled. Question 8. Which result would verify that VLAN is functioning as required? Option A. Clients connect using the configured modern security mode without falling back to deprecated encryption. Option B. Outbound sessions from different private hosts appear through the router public address. Option C. The browser establishes an encrypted connection and displays the expected certificate information. Option D. Devices assigned to different segments cannot communicate unless routing and policy permit it. The correct answer is option D. Devices assigned to different segments cannot communicate unless routing and policy permit it. The intended role of VLAN is that it creates separate logical broadcast domains on shared switching infrastructure. It segments traffic logically without requiring a completely separate switch for every group. A different SSID name alone does not guarantee network minus layer separation. Are you looking for CompTIA A exam actual questions? Visit our website pokerexams.com to access CompTIA A exam study guide with actual questions and answers. Scan the QR code or click the link in the description to get CompTIA A exam answer key today. Question 9. A support task calls for a practice that tests, deploys, and verifies software updates that correct vulnerabilities and defects. Which choice fits? Option A. Endpoint detection and response. Option B. A zero trust. Option C. 802.1x authentication. Option D. Patch management. The correct answer is option D. Patch management. The required practice is one that tests, deploys, and verifies software updates that correct vulnerabilities and defects. It provides a controlled way to apply vendor fixes while tracking compliance and failures. Changing passwords does not remove a vulnerability in unpatched software. Question 10. The support team is evaluating the most appropriate tool, control, or procedure. Which statement explains the value of PS in this task? Option A. It provides process listings that can be filtered or expanded with options. Option B. It targets startup configuration and boot components from the recovery environment. Option C. It provides a basic inventory of directory entries and supports detailed display options. Option D. It provides control over service state and startup type. The correct answer is option A. It provides process listings that can be filtered or expanded with options. PS is relevant because it displays information about running processes on Linux and Unix-like systems. PWD displays the current directory and does not enumerate running processes. The output shows the target process and its identifier. Question 11. The requirement is for a service that creates an encrypted tunnel across an untrusted network for remote or site-to-minus site access. Which choice matches it? Option A. NAT. Option B. To DHCP. Option C. A VPN. Option D. To DNS. The correct answer is option C. VPN. A suitable service must be able to perform the stated function because it creates an encrypted tunnel across an untrusted network for remote or site-to-minus site access. It protects traffic in transit and can extend authorized private network access to a remote endpoint. Remote desktop alone controls a host but does not necessarily secure all traffic between the client and organization. Question 12. Which observation validates the successful use of inkjet printhead? Option A. Protected equipment remains powered normally after a small test event within the device rating. Option B. A nozzle cleaning or printhead replacement restores a complete test pattern. Option C. The computer continues operating when wall power is removed and begins the configured shutdown procedure. Option D. The firmware reports the installed capacity and rated memory generation after startup. The correct answer is option B. A nozzle cleaning or printhead replacement restores a complete test pattern. The intended role of inkjet printhead is that it ejects microscopic droplets of liquid ink onto paper. Its nozzles control the location and amount of ink applied to the page. A laser-printer drum uses toner and is not part of the inkjet marking process. Question 13. Which outcome provides the clearest evidence that change the wireless channel is operating correctly? Option A. Load temperatures fall after the old material is cleaned and a proper amount is applied. Option B. The system starts normally after the lead is attached to the documented header. Option C. Performance improves and retransmission rates fall after clients reconnect on the less congested channel. Option D. The computer loads the local operating system after the correct drive is placed ahead of unwanted sources. The correct answer is option C. Performance improves and retransmission rates fall after clients reconnect on the less congested channel. The selected procedure moves a Wi-Fi network away from severe same-band interference. It can reduce contention and overlapping transmissions when a cleaner channel is available. Increasing screen brightness has no effect on radio interference. Question 14. The proposed solution is being reviewed before implementation. Which property makes update the application suitable for the requirement? Option A. It prevents selected programs from consuming memory and processor time before they are needed. Option B. It releases resources and allows the application to be restarted without rebooting the entire computer. Option C. It forces the browser to download fresh resources from the site. Option D. A current build may contain corrections required for the newer environment. The correct answer is option D. A current build may contain corrections required for the newer environment. The important capability of Update the application is that it installs vendor fixes for known defects and compatibility problems. Changing the Wi-Fi password does not repair local application compatibility. The application reports the new version and completes the task that previously failed. Question 15. After implementing multi-factor authentication, which observation most strongly confirms the intended operation? Option A. The drive contents remain unreadable from another computer without the recovery material. Option B. A test message containing protected information is blocked or routed for review. Option C. A login attempt fails when only the password is supplied and succeeds after the additional factor is verified. Option D. A user receives only the approved resource access after authentication and policy checks. The correct answer is option C. A login attempt fails when only the password is supplied and succeeds after the additional factor is verified. Multi-factor authentication requires authentication factors from more than one category. It combines independent evidence such as knowledge, possession, or inherence. Two passwords are both knowledge factors and do not provide true factor diversity. Question 16. Which result would verify that laptop battery is functioning as required? Option A. The computer continues running normally after the AC adapter is removed. Option B. The replicated ports operate when the laptop is attached to the accessory. Option C. The computer creates a network interface and reaches the internet through the connected phone. Option D. The devices initiate the intended exchange when brought very close together. The correct answer is option A. The computer continues running normally after the AC adapter is removed. The intended role of laptop battery is that it stores electrical energy so a portable computer can operate away from external power. It supplies direct current power when the system is not connected to an outlet. Replacing the power adapter alone would not restore portable operation if the internal energy source cannot hold a charge. Question 17. During a structured troubleshooting session, the technician compares the available choices. Why is CHKDSK an appropriate selection? Option A. It examines storage structures and can repair supported logical inconsistencies. Option B. It remains a central entry point for many legacy configuration tools. Option C. It provides a standardized recovery path without requiring separate installation media in many cases. Option D. It integrates scheduled backups and recovery with macOS. The correct answer is option A. It examines storage structures and can repair supported logical inconsistencies. The important capability of CHKDSK is that it checks a file system and volume for logical errors and selected bad-sector conditions. A password reset cannot correct damaged disk metadata. The volume check completes and no longer reports the previously detected file-system errors. Question 18. The requirement is for a procedure that returns firmware configuration to defaults when an invalid setting prevents normal startup. Which choice matches it? Option A. Use sense lookup. Option B. Clear CMOS settings. Option C. Test with a minimal hardware configuration. Option D. Ping the loopback address. The correct answer is option B. Clear CMOS settings. A suitable procedure must be able to perform the stated function because it returns firmware configuration to defaults when an invalid setting prevents normal startup. It removes problematic custom configuration while preserving the hardware for retesting. Formatting the operating-system drive cannot change pre-boot firmware settings. Stressed about your CompTIA A exam? We can take CompTIA A exam for you remotely and undetected. We always guarantee A pass and payments only after results. To send us an email, scan the code or tap the link in the description and let's get it done. Question 19. Which result would verify that Device Manager is functioning as required? Option A. The system starts with basic drivers and remains stable long enough for corrective work. Option B. A Windows completes a fresh installation and reaches the initial configuration process. Option C. The new policy appears in the effective configuration after the command completes. Option D. The warning clears and the device operates after the appropriate driver issue is resolved. The correct answer is option D. The warning clears and the device operates after the appropriate driver issue is resolved. The intended role of Device Manager is that it displays hardware devices, driver status, and resource information in Windows. It provides direct access to device properties, drivers, enablement, and error codes. Disk management configures storage volumes and does not manage adapter drivers. Question 20. A technician is comparing several technically plausible alternatives. Which reason best supports the technician choice of rollback plan? Option A. It balances backup time and restore complexity by accumulating changes from the last full copy. Option B. It limits downtime by preparing specific reversal steps and required resources in advance. Option C. It reduces the chance that static discharge will damage sensitive electronics. Option D. It supplies manufacturer and regulatory safety information before cleanup begins. The correct answer is option B. It limits downtime by preparing specific reversal steps and required resources in advance. Rollback plan defines how to restore the previous state if a change fails. A list of expected benefits does not explain how to reverse a failed implementation. The team returns the service to its known -good version within the plan window during a test. Question 21. A technician is comparing several technically plausible alternatives. Which reason best supports the technician choice of cable lock? Option A. It deters opportunistic theft by attaching the device chassis to furniture or another anchor. Option B. It proves possession through cryptographic authentication rather than a reusable code alone. Option C. Turning off the feature reduces an unnecessary attack path related to simplified enrollment. Option D. It reduces the opportunity for unauthorized software and malware execution. The correct answer is option A. It deters opportunistic theft by attaching the device chassis to furniture or another anchor. Cable lock physically secures portable equipment to a fixed object. Full-disk encryption protects data but does not physically retain the device. The secured laptop cannot be carried away without defeating the lock or anchor. Question 22. Which observation validates the successful use of subnet mask? Option A. Outbound sessions from different private hosts appear through the router public address. Option B. A lookup returns the expected address for the requested hostname. Option C. The calculated network identifiers correctly show whether the two addresses share a subnet. Option D. Local hosts reach remote networks through the configured interfaces and routes. The correct answer is option C. The calculated network identifiers correctly show whether the two addresses share a subnet. The intended role of subnet mask is that it defines which portion of an IPv4 address represents the network and which portion represents the host. It lets a host decide whether to communicate directly or forward traffic to a router. A DNS server address provides name resolution and does not define local address boundaries. Question 23. During a structured troubleshooting session, the technician compares the available choices. Why is escalate outside minus scope issues an appropriate selection? Option A. Clear expectations reduce uncertainty and prevent promises the support team cannot keep. Option B. It verifies a precise detail efficiently once the investigation has direction. Option C. Good closure notes support auditing, future troubleshooting, and knowledge reuse. Option D. Escalation brings the appropriate owner into the process without unauthorized experimentation. The correct answer is option D. Escalation brings the appropriate owner into the process without unauthorized experimentation. The important capability of escalate outside minus scope issues is that it transfers work when authority, expertise, risk, or policy limits are reached. Attempting an unapproved database change could create larger outages or data loss. The ticket reaches the qualified team with complete notes and business impact. Question 24. A technician wants to update firmware on many business-critical systems. Which process is the best fit? Option A. Change request. Option B. Rollback plan. Option C. Ticketing system. Option D. Chain of custody. The correct answer is option A. Change request. The problem is addressed by a process that documents a proposed production change, risk, approvals, timing, and implementation details. It ensures the impact is reviewed and the work is authorized before broad implementation. The approved record identifies the scope, schedule, owner, test evidence, and backout method. Question 25. During a structured troubleshooting session, the technician compares the available choices. Why is virtual switch an appropriate selection? Option A. It forwards frames among virtual interfaces and can bridge traffic to a physical adapter when configured. Option B. It behaves like an independent computer while relying on resources assigned by the host. Option C. It offers convenient client-side virtualization using the existing host environment. Option D. It aligns capacity with workload rather than requiring permanent maximum provisioning. The correct answer is option A. It forwards frames among virtual interfaces and can bridge traffic to a physical adapter when configured. The important capability of virtual switch is that it connects virtual network adapters to one another and to selected physical networks. A storage snapshot preserves disk state and does not provide network connectivity. The guests exchange traffic through their assigned virtual network even if no external cable is involved.